Hi everyone, welcome to your day 2 practice. Today's practice is going to be all about changing pathways, changing the way we are kind of familiar with. Not only is this really healthy for the body and for the mind, but it just helps us to kind of reframe our habits a little bit. So in the workbook, we're looking at it on more kind of thinking about it level. This is going to be an embodied practice, an embodied experiment, if you like. So we'll start laying down. Lay down with your knees bent, feet on the floor, and just take a moment to get comfortable here, feeling the back of the body, back of the torso meeting the ground. You can let your eyes close or your gaze soften, maybe just rolling the head side to side, just really feeling the body landing in space. And then when you're ready, bring your right knee to your chest, interlace the fingers around the right shin, and as you inhale, draw that leg in towards you. And as you exhale, keep a hold of the shin, but just release a little bit of that pressure. And then again, draw in. Notice where your edge is, where the limitation is, and then release. Now try this. Press your left foot down as you draw the right knee in. Does that give you a little bit more space? And then release the pressure in the left foot as you send the right shin forward. Do this a few more times. This is just an experiment. So we're playing with here, finding space in a part of the body that can often feel not so spacious, the hips. And what we're doing is actually using our own strength to facilitate more space. So it's possible to do both at the same time. The next time that you draw the leg in, switch the interlace of your fingers to the back of the right thigh, and then begin to kick your right foot to the sky. Now, if you need to keep a bend in that right knee, feel free to do that. And then you can also keep the left knee bent. Let's start with the left knee bent, all of us together. And then first of all, try pulling the leg in towards you and feel that big hamstring stretch. But notice also how you're kind of losing the grounding of the back of your right hip. So can you keep that quality of a stretch as you start to then press your right leg into your hands? Notice how you can have the two. You can have a grounded right hip, and you can continue to receive stretch through the right leg. Maybe keep the left leg bent, or if you like, extend it long. But as you extend your left leg, notice if that right hip point, so say you were looking at your body from bird's eye view, your right hip might have hiked up a bit. So can you level off your hips? Notice how that requires, again, a little bit of strength. Active through the left leg if it's extended. Continue to feel how maybe you can pull that right leg in a bit further now, but at the same time, press the leg into the hand. How does it feel to sustain the flexibility whilst utilizing your own stability? Feels more empowering, right? Feeling the strength of your container and the spaciousness that is available to you when you allow that strength, that healthy boundary to be there. Take one more breath in. And then exhale, release the right leg. Bend both knees again, if they're not already. Bend the right foot, hug the left knee into the chest, squeeze the knee in, and then let it release a little bit. Squeeze and release. And then as you squeeze in, start to press your other foot, your right foot down. Notice if that gives you a bit more space for movement. And just take that a few times, experimenting with working asymmetrically in the body, but noticing how what's happening on one side affects what's happening on the other. Especially when we're dealing with our hips, they're a huge junction of the body. And then just at the next time you're drawing the leg more in, interlace the fingers around the back of the thigh and extend the leg skyward. Again, feel free to keep a bend in the left knee. Keep your right knee bent for now. And first of all, go for that totally passive movement. Feels quite good, but also there's going to be a limit to that, and if you did it too much, you would end up with overpulled hamstrings. So let's balance it. Press the leg into the hands. And then maybe choose to keep your right knee bent, or again, go ahead and straighten, but again, feel an engagement to stabilize your hips. So again, if you were looking from above, you would see level hip points. And once you've got that stability, maybe play it with flexibility a bit, but then also maintaining it. You can oscillate between the two. That's what's really great about this experimental practice. And that's exactly what yoga asana is. It's an experimentation with your body. The body is the vessel of consciousness. So all we're really doing is trying to make the container of consciousness stronger and more supple. not for aesthetic purposes, just so we can have a better quality of consciousness, so we can experience life to its fullest. Take a couple more breaths here, playing with that balance. And then gently release the left leg down. Notice how your body feels there for a moment. And then draw the legs in towards you. Give yourself a squeeze, rock up and down your spine a few times, or if that's not comfortable on your back, you can always roll to the side. We'll come into an all fours position. Tabletop, ground palms, and then as you feel weight sink down into your hands, start to then rebound it. Start to round your spine as you push the ground away. Draw the tailbone and the chin towards one another. And then release the belly down. Draw the chin up, the tailbone back. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. Can you be aware of here, as we go through some more of these cat-cows, your back body leading the movement. So the back body expands here, and then it contracts here. Feel the strength of the back when it contracts rather than it collapsing. Take this one more time, and we'll finish the round up in a cat pose, so in that rounded spine. From here, tuck under your toes and hover the knees just an inch if you can. Press the ground away so much that your hips naturally start to lift. Keep the knees really bent here. And then start to extend the left heel down, right knee bends even more. And then switch. So there's always one knee generously bent. Go side to side to side. And then eventually settle up in the middle. Have both knees bent again. Feel how the bend of the knees allows you to press the feet into the ground and press the hands into the ground. So really that pressure down is creating space in your joints. If you wanted to start lifting the hips higher and maybe letting the legs extend, you can, but I encourage you to find here what feels most spacious today. And then bend the knees again if they're not already quite bent. Walk your hands back towards your feet. Feel the weight go back and forward in your feet as you come into this forward fold. And then see where the center is. So where do you have the perfect balance for you between the weight in the heels and the balls of the feet? Once you feel that becoming still there, press down into your feet, come halfway up. Now, pause in your halfway lift. Hands onto your shins. Press your hands back first. Notice how the heels draw back and you take weight into your heels. Again, passive. Now, keep pressing the hands into the shins, but press the shins into the hands. Notice how much more spacious and strong that feels. Take another inhale here. And then exhale, take your hands along the sides of your legs. Keep the legs straight and just fold as far as is reasonable for you. Then press down into your feet. Rise all the way up to standing. Reach tall through the fingertips. And then start to arc ever so slightly back. And then exhale with a flat back and with straight legs if you can, fold forward. We're just going to go through that a few times. Halfway lift, inhale. So almost like you're resisting gravity. Exhale, fold, pull up through the thighs. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold, and inhale, come all the way back up. Now keep the arms up above your head here. You're going to send the weight into your left foot. Draw your right knee up to the height of the hip. Bend the left knee a little bit and lean back slightly, letting the chest lift. Now see how slowly and lightly you can step your right foot forward into a high lunge. Bring the arms down by your sides. If you need to wiggle the right foot a bit further forward, you can. Now bend your left knee. Scoop the tailbone forward. Feel how that opens into your left hip, and then keep your tailbone dropped as much as you can as you re-extend the left leg. Sit a little bit deeper. Float your arms forward. Feel like you're holding a beach ball here. And then float your arms up, but keep your arms in your peripheral vision. So the shoulder blades are sweeping up the back. That's giving you space in the back of the heart. Can you be aware of your back body here? Now, we're going to bend the elbows. And as you bend your elbows, now feel the shoulder blades draw together and the chest open. Let the chest lift and maybe drop the hips. Take a deep inhale here, extend your arms to whatever degree feels right for you. And then exhale, take the hands down. Step the right foot back, downward facing dog. Pedal between your legs. One knee bends generously and the other extends. And you can really exaggerate this. You can lean from side to side. You can curve into that extending side. Just feeling the two opposing actions meeting to create one fluid movement. And then again, let's start to become still. Walk the hands back to the feet. Press down evenly through your feet. Come up halfway, inhale. Slide the hands down just as far as they go as you fold over your legs. Then inhale, sweep all the way up to standing. Weight transfers now into the right foot. Lift your left knee to about the height of the hip. And then bend your standing leg. Lean back slightly. And then see how lightly you can step your left foot forward. Take your arms down as you land. Adjust your feet any amount. And again, bend the back knee. Give your frontal hip, that right frontal hip, a release. Keep that release as you continue to drive back. And then from there, float the arms forward. So again, it's this feeling of containing, like you're holding your own personal power here between your hands. And then float the arms up, keeping the arms in your peripheral vision. Then bending the elbows. Now they'll go out of your peripheral vision, but you're still aware of the back body because it's strengthening as you allow your chest to open. Maybe extending your arms and then bringing the hands down. This time, you're going to step your right foot to your left, coming to the top of your mat. Take a halfway lift inhale. Fold as you exhale. Inhale, rising all the way up to stand, strongly rooting. And then this time, as you exhale, bring the hands to a prayer and slowly draw the prayer down. Keep your eyes dead ahead, but just watch as the hands come down, feeling that tracing of your axis. And let the hands draw all the way down until they naturally come apart. Keep staring at that same point. Release the arms. Reach the arms up again. This time you're going to interlace your fingers and just cradle the back of the head. As you inhale, press the head into the hands. Let the head lift. Now, keep that sense of spaciousness as you turn your gaze forward again. You draw up through the back body and then move your head a little bit back into your hands. Feel the chin not tucking, but just drawing back and down slightly. Now release the arms without moving the neck. So notice this feeling, you are in your back body now. Almost feels like you could topple backwards, but in actual fact, all we're doing is we're testing the strength of our spine, where we hold our own space. Start to bend your knees. Make sure your feet are hips distance apart. Bend your knees, sit into a chair. Keep that sense of awareness of back body. So it's tempting to kind of look around, look up, look down. Keep sensing the space behind you. And then exhale, fold forward. Weight even in the feet, come up halfway. Inhale. And exhale, fold. Inhale, bend the knees, come into your chair pose. This time, if the balance is feeling a little bit difficult today, you can always look down. Bring the weight into your right foot. Lift your left heel. And then lift your left knee and see if you can cross your left ankle over the right thigh. Figure 4. And then start to send the bum back as you keep the chest lifted. You're getting a nice little hip stretch here. Now from here, bring your hands to a prayer at your heart, perhaps using the thumbs touching the chest as a guide. You're going to lift out of that squat. Draw your left knee to the height of the hip. And now start to open the knee out to the side like you were opening a gate. Now start to turn the chest open as you begin to kick that left leg out. Send the arms wide, reach the right arm down, left arm up. So we're moving towards half moon here. Don't worry if you don't quite land. And in fact, I encourage you not to bring the right hand to the ground. Test your balance. You can always rebend that lifted leg and extend it. Notice if this gets frustrating for you and just try and work within this experiment. Stay here for one more breath, inhaling. And then this time as you exhale, bend the right knee, step the left foot all the way back. We'll find our warrior two. Drop the arms there for a moment. Take the right hand inside the right thigh. Now press the right hand into the right thigh, let it externally rotate, but then press the thigh back into the hand. And then feel length down the left leg. So it's like you're trying to point your left tailbone to your left heel. Now draw the arms wide. And in fact, bring the fingertips to the shoulders for a moment. So your hips are actually turning to a kind of like a half position. So they're definitely not squared. However, as you use your feedback of fingers to shoulders, you can turn the chest to the side. Now reach dynamically through the arms. Experiment with closing your eyes here. Notice how that invites you to drop into the body again. Notice if there's any little wobbles, but also wobbles are not a bad thing because they're your body finding its way into the pose. It will always get there. We just need to trust. As you inhale, flip the right palm, reach forward. Now maybe opening the eyes if they're closed. As you exhale, bring the hands to the floor. Frame the right foot, spin to the ball of the left foot. Step back into downward facing dog. Bend one knee, extend the other. And then look forward, bend both knees. You're going to step one foot and then the other to the top of the mat. Feet hips distance, bend your knees, sit down into your chair pose. Gaze down for balance. Take the weight into the left foot. Lift the right knee up and then hook the right ankle over the left thigh. To find the balance here, use counter action. So the tailbone anchors down, the chest stays lifted. We press the right thigh open, so we get that nice active external rotation. Now we know where this is going, so be in your breath, be in your body. Lift out of the bend, bring the right knee back to the height of the hip. Then open the leg out like a game. The challenge here is to open that right leg out as you keep your left foot toes staying dead ahead. Now we're opening towards half moon. You could stay here. Maybe you play with your balance, but always play with the feeling, and you might use your wall, but always play with the feeling that as you anchor whatever is on the ground into the ground, you're anchoring whatever is lifted into space, so you're held at every angle. Take one more deep breath in, and then exhale, take a big step back. Warrior two, drop the arms, measure out the feet. Press the left hand to the inner left thigh and press it open passively. Then bring the knee back into the hand, the thigh back into the hand, I should say. Bring your fingertips to your shoulders. Again, notice your hips are not square. They won't need to be ever, but your shoulders can, your torso can. Then reach the arms wide. Close the eyes again or soften the gaze down. And again, any wobbles. Notice how the body adjusts itself when you close down one sense. And just feeling how is the breath. So inhale, reverse your warrior, open the eyes here if they are closed. Exhale, bring the hands to the floor. Step back into your downward dog and begin to pedal the legs out again. And this time you'll lower the knees, take them wide. Sit the bottom toward the heels, maybe bring something under the forehead, whether that's a prop or just resting the forearms one on top of the other. And then we'll start to close this down. So bring your hands flat in front of you, keep the chin to the chest as you slowly walk your hands in. Come up into a kneeling position. Palms facing upward, eyes still closed if you can. Notice your breath. Notice how the body feels having moved into slightly uncharted territory, so unusual pathways. Maybe it was frustrating at the time, but notice how you come out of the other end of it. And notice how quickly your body is able to adapt. Adapting doesn't mean perfection or precision. It means there'll be wobbles. It means it'll be messy. That's part of it being practice. So I encourage you to stay open-minded with that and open-hearted as well. And we'll close the practice there. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day.